Now keep going to number 6. Arctangent equals to y. Now, if you simply want to evaluate arctangent, remember your answer need to be here. And because input is negative, therefore you want to find your answer from here. Okay? But in order to if you use calculator, then probably easier. But right now you don't supposed to use calculator. Why? Because this involve another square root. If you use calculator, they may only give you decimal number, which is not accurate. So same thing, I will suggest you reverse back to the tangent function. So tangent y will equal to negative square root 3 over 3. Now remember, tangent y is opposite over adjacent. So if opposite over adjacent, you make a right triangle and the angle is y. Opposite is negative square root 3. We make a negative goes to here. And the adjacent, this is opposite, right? Okay. So you need to find you have opposite and adjacent. So all you have to calculate is the hypotenuse. So this is hypotenuse. I calculated for you by the Pythagorean theorem. So it's 2 square root 3. Now, if you have 2 square root of 3 and you have negative square root of 3 and you have 3, obviously hypotenuse divided by 2, you have the opposite side, means this is pi over 6, or we say 30 degrees. Remember that? There's a very special angle because the hypotenuse is double the opposite side. So we can find out 30 degrees, but we go to negative. So it's negative 30. You may either say negative 30 degrees or say negative pi over 6 radian. It looks like they didn't require for either radian or degree, so you can answer either way. So I think number 6 is a little hard. You want to really try it by yourself, and if you have more questions, we talk about it more detail in the class time. Okay. Now number 7 is supposed to be easy. They ask you to use a calculator. So if you use calculator, you just find this one, arctangent. So usually how you find arctangent, you go to second, and then you may find this one. Okay, and under this one you may see tangent. And then you input 26 and then use enter. Then they will give you this number. So arc cosine, same thing, you follow second and then goes to arc cosine, and then you use calculator to evaluate. So number 7, number 8 supposed to be easy. Number 9. Number 9, whenever a right triangle, they give you adjacent and the opposite. Then I will suggest that you use tangent. So tangent will be opposite over adjacent. Okay. So they ask you to solve for theta. Now I make my answer too complicated. You don't need to do that. So if you think you want to learn more, then you may read my work here. I solve for all the possible angles. But this question actually they already graph for you. So this, according to this graph, this angle is acute. Acute angle means this angle is between 90 degree and 0, or you say between 0 and pi over 2. So you don't need to find so many answers. Just find one answer. Only one answer. Because the graph shows only one angle. Therefore, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. I didn't say that's wrong. Okay? Just for fun. You're supposed to find many answers. Because now I remember why I want to talk too much here. So again, you don't need to do so much, but this is very good situation. I can show you this because the period for the tangent is pi. So you only plus k pi, okay? Don't plus 2k pi because every pi you repeat the same thing. And you can see that in this period, you have positive and a negative, right? And it goes to the other period. You have another plus and a minus. So in one circle, if you find one answer here, okay, you may find another answer there, but there's two separate periods. Okay. And if your answer is negative, then you have to find another negative answer. Now, why I plus k pi? Wait, I make a positive negative wrong. So here, that's why it's kind of weird. Okay. So for the tangent, we're supposed to do this way. It's easier to find out the value if you have. But tangent involve both opposite and adjacent side. Here you have positive equal to positive. Here you have negative still equal to positive. Okay, so because the tangent period is just pi, therefore on the right hand side, if your tangent value is positive, you plus pi. This reference angle here and the plus pi, you're supposed to find another same reference angle with is not a positive, but is still positive in the end. Negative, still positive. Okay, so you have negative opposite divided by negative, also positive. And this is positive opposite divided by positive. This opposite, this adjacent is positive. And this is adjacent, still positive. So first quadrant and the third quadrant, they have same positive value. Therefore, once you find one answer here, you just plus pi. So whenever you plus pi, you have one answer. Plus another pi, you have one answer. Plus another pi, you have one more answer. Plus pi. So that's why don't plus 2k pi, okay? If you plus 2k pi, you are going to miss one answer here. Understand? And if your answer is negative, then your angle will be here, and the plus pi, you have same negative output for the tangent value. So keep in mind, tangent, if you want to find group of the answer, you need to plus k pi. But this question, you don't need to worry too much here because you only need to find one answer. If you only need to find one answer, then let me show you how I show the work. Oh, did I find out the answer? I didn't finish this one. Tangent. Let me see. Oh, use a inverse trigonometric function to write the theta. So you cannot solve for anything. To write the theta in terms of x. So where is my answer? Here only. Okay. This is your answer. Theta equals to arc tangent because this arc tangent, right? And the opposite is x plus 1 and this one. Okay? Because tangent theta supposed to be opposite over adjacent. And if you want to solve for theta, you use arc tangent. So this question, you don't need to talk about k pi, not 2k pi, okay? I just want to use this opportunity to tell you. Only plus k pi for the tangent, arc tangent, to find the more group of the answers. But if you simply just want to find one answer, the acute answer, then just use this notation. It will be fine. Number 10. This is a similar question. Tangent theta will be opposite over adjacent. And you may simplify. You factor and reduce, make it easier. So input become output, output become input. And you don't supposed to plus k pi. If you want to find more answer, then you plus k pi, don't plus 2k pi. Okay? But this is just one answer. So one answer is good. Number 11. Sometimes you may say, okay, cosine and the arc cosine, they are inverse function. So you may say, teacher, can we cancel out? I will say sometimes yes, sometimes no. In this case, no. Why not? Because remember, you have more than one answer you have more than one angle to have the same value, same cosine value. So, but our arc cosine can only give out the answer here. Give out the answer here, either on the first quadrant or on the second quadrant. That's the definition for the arc cosine. Now, negative 5 pi over 2. Where is negative 5 pi over 2? Okay, so we don't want to use first quadrant, second quadrant. We want to use 0 to pi. Okay, the arc cosine, your answer need to be between 0 and the pi. This is not the right answer, right? This angle is a negative angle. It's not between. So negative 5 pi over 2 is not between 0 and the pi. It's not. So definitely, you cannot cancel out. If you cancel out, you have answer equals to negative 5 over 2. Not correct. Therefore, the formal way to solve for the answer is you try to evaluate inside. Okay? So inside actually is 0 because negative pi over 2, whenever you have 2 pi, it's nothing, right? Cosine 2 pi is what? Is 1, right? Cosine 2 pi is 1, but cosine 2 pi plus any angle is just ignore 2 pi. Remember that? Okay. So angle theta plus 2 pi go back to theta. Plus 2 pi go back to the same theta. Therefore, no matter how many 2 pi you plus, you just angle theta. So you ignore all the 2 pi because this negative 4 pi, right? And in the end, you have negative pi over 2. So let me say that 5 pi over 2 is negative 2 pi. Take away pi over 2. Okay. So this is negative 4 pi. Take away pi is negative 5 pi. So this is one of the very important concepts. Sometimes you say, yes, I cancel out. But no, not this time. Okay. But then we go back to here. The whole cosine theta is 0. Right? This is 0. So this question becomes very simple and easy. So let me erase all the ugly mark here. So we all understand the concept. Then I want to make a whole calculating easy, simple to you. Okay, so all you have to do is you evaluate cosine theta equal to 0. Then arc cosine 0. Arc cosine 0 means which angle will make cosine equal to 0? Which angle have cosine theta equal to 0? Which angle theta will have cosine theta equal to 0? Cosine theta equal to 0 is here, right? Pi over 2. Okay, and again, our answer need to be here. So pi over 2 will be the only one answer possible. Number 12. Similar question. So we try to evaluate arcsine a over 17 first. Okay. So if arcsine equal to theta, then sine theta will be this. Oh, let me see. Did I miss anything? Okay. Now remember, because this theta came from arcsine function. If this theta came from arcsine function, and this is positive. So remember the definition for arcsine you choose. If you have positive sine value, then you choose the answer from the first quadrant. So answer will be the theta supposed to be between 0 and 2 pi. That's one thing you want to keep in mind. Okay, even though the definition for the theta arcsine function is from is all of this, right? Positive pi over 2, negative pi over 2. Even though that, but we already noticed this is positive. Okay, so our answer will be only here because this is positive. Therefore, we go back to our original question. Original question want to evaluate secant theta. This is theta. So secant theta, how you find secant theta? So because sine theta is a over 17, sine theta is a over 17. And we use Pythagorean theorem. Pythagorean theorem is telling you if this is, we call this is v, okay? And the v square plus a square need to be 17 square. By this way, how you solve for v? V square will be 17 square minus a square. So v square will be square root of 17 square minus a square. So that's how I have this and I calculate for you. This V is 15. Okay, so once you have all the side, then secant theta. What's secant theta? Secant is the inverse of the cosine theta. So it will be hypotenuse over what? I think I make a mistake, right? Hypotenuse over adjacent. Yes, I made a mistake. So this is 17 over 15. Okay? 17 over 15. Okay, so if I remember to change my classwork on the original page, I will do so. If I forgot and you didn't read what you didn't watch video, then you may see, okay, your teacher make a mistake on the original paper. Anyway, so the definition of the secant theta is hypotenuse over adjacent. So answer is supposed to be 17 over 15. Okay. Now keep going to number. How many questions we have? Many questions. Okay. Number 13. So I will make more videos. Okay. Now tangent and the arcsine. Same thing. We try to evaluate arcsine first. Or not to evaluate. We want to set up. Oh yes, we have to evaluate. The output of the arcsine is an angle. So we make an angle here. And we find out sine theta is negative 19 over 20. And keep in mind, because the angle came from arc function and is negative. Since it's negative, so angle need to be going down is negative. Okay. Once we build a right triangle, we use Pythagorean theorem to find everything we need. So if this is 20 and negative 19, and I calculate this one is square root of 39, I calculate here. And this is just Pythagorean theorem, nothing too hard for you. Therefore, from the original question, we want to evaluate tangent theta. This is theta, right? Tangent theta. We want to evaluate tangent theta. So tangent theta here, tangent theta will be opposite over adjacent. So this is opposite, and this is adjacent. Okay, then we are done. So this is the answer, right? Here. Okay, we don't need this one. So number 14. Number 14, just repeating the same process, but this time it's harder. Why? Because x minus 1. Wow. But anyway, the output for the arc function is always an angle. And then it means cosine theta is x minus 1. But again, remember that, okay, by the definition, our angle, because we don't know x minus 1 is positive or negative, so maybe here, maybe there. Now go back to the original question. Cosecant theta. Cosecant theta. Cosecant will be hypotenuse over opposite. So hypotenuse, we can make it 1. And then, how I make this triangle? because cosine. Cosine theta is x minus 1. So I will say cosine theta is x minus 1 over 1. So this is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's why I make a hypotenuse equals to 1. And this is adjacent. Now I do need to calculate what's opposite. Because arcsine is talking about h, a hypotenuse over opposite. So I calculate that for you, and then you need to calculate it by yourself. Try by yourself. Number 15. So we repeat the same thing again, right? Tangent theta is 9 over x. So it's opposite over adjacent. So this opposite, this adjacent. And we use Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse. Okay. And keep in mind our angle is supposed to be here. So cotangent theta cotangent theta is here, right? Cotangent is adjacent over opposite. You have to memorize that. So adjacent here, opposite there. So this is number 15. Number 16. Number 16. How we do this one? Arcsine. So arcsine, this one, I just copy the question here, and we don't know what's that, so I make this one equals to theta, because output is supposed to be theta. And it means we want to make arc cosine also theta. Can we do that? Let's try. You always want to draw a picture to help. Without the right triangle picture, I cannot do anything. So, according to this, then we may have sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, right? So after you have opposite and the hypotenuse, then you need to solve for adjacent. How to solve for adjacent? Use Pythagorean theorem. Okay. Let me see. X. Okay. I mental calculate. Okay. But if you really need to calculate, then we pretend you don't know this is x. Pretend you don't know. So I say v, right? So v square plus square root of square need to equal to 7 square. Yes? So this is 49 minus x squared. And the square root square, we cancel out. Therefore, you have v squared plus 49 minus x squared equals to 49. So we take away 49 on both sides. Okay? And then plus x squared on both sides. Then what do you have? You have v squared equal to x squared. It means v equal to x. So how can I mental calculate that? I didn't. I know that hypotenuse square minus x squared will be this number. Okay, anyway, you are not a math major yet, so you don't need to do this quick, but I just show you. You can use Pythagorean theorem to calculate the value v actually is x. Okay, so I directly use x, and then the cosine theta is what? Is adjacent over hypotenuse, right? Okay, so when the question is asking you arc cosine equal to theta, it means same meaning. Okay, it means cosine theta need to be this number, and the cosine theta is this, right? So this equals to that, and this equals to that. So arc cosine inside the number need to be x over 7. Wow, so complicated. Hope you understand. Okay. And the number 17, let me erase those ugly calculation. I don't think there is Pythagorean theorem, you can do it by yourself, right? Okay. Number 17. This one you still need to use the graph. For the arc cosine is talking about the angle. Angle. So the angle when, so you mean cosine angle equal to x, and the x almost 1. And this question they explained, actually I explained earlier, right? 1 minus, not the negative 1, is positive 1, okay? But the x value approach 1 from the smaller side. So you can see that this is 1. This is 1. And if the cosine value is 0 when angle is pi over 2, you have cosine value is 0. And then the cosine value is a little bigger, and bigger. So when so let me make a numerical 9. So the cosine value from 0 and approach to 1 from the smallest side, right? So this will be 1 minus. If I approach the value from the right hand side, it will approach 1 plus, and this is 1. So therefore, anyway, the cosine value won't be more than 1. The biggest possible is 1. So you can only approach 1 from the smaller than 1, and then become bigger and bigger, and then approach to really is 1. So let me erase all the marks, and then let me explain one more time for you. Okay. So actually the sine value is 0 when pi over 2, and the bigger and bigger and bigger sine value, right? Cosine value. Cosine value on the pi over 2 is 0. And the bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and the approach to 1 from 1 minus close to 1. So therefore, the angle will be started from pi over 2 and go to the angle. This terminal side will merge to the initial side, so the angle will be 0. I can only explain from the picture. There's no way I can use algebra to calculate and show you the answer. Okay, so you probably want to watch the video again and again till you understand what I'm talking about. Let me see how many questions. Oh, two more questions. So 18 and 19, then we are done. Okay, so this is a similar question. Arctangent is talking about the angle again. And when the x value approach to negative infinity. So from the graph, you can see that. Okay. Then when the value approach to negative infinity, means the angle approach what? Negative pi over 2. Now I kind of figure out one more way to explain this question. Let me see if I can, if I use this way, the cosine. This is the cosine, right? And when we are talking about the arc, when we are talking about arc cosine, we only talk about the angle from from 0 to pi. Yes, from 0 to pi. Okay, and this is 1, and this is negative 1. So you may use the cosine. The whole cosine graph will look like that. Yes. Now, when the x value approach to 1 from the negative approach 1 from the smaller side, so you go this one, right? This is smaller than 1, the value, okay, the value. So this is 0 and 1/2, right? And it goes to 1 here. So when the input, this x is the input, right? From 0 become 1, then the angle from so this is the x value from 1, but the angle is pi over 2, right? Pi over 2 and it goes to angle 0. I don't know which one is easier for you to understand. So the function value, right now we call it x because that's the inverse function, right? And this original function, this is cosine y equals to x. And the cosine from 0 to 1, the x from 0 approach 1 minus. Okay. Then the y will be from pi over 2 and the approach 0. So that's another way I can explain. Number 19, that's the question. Very good. A police car is here and their light. Police car is 27 meters away from the building. And the light form an angle theta. Okay. And we want to figure out what's the distance between these two. We call it x. And whenever we have the information about the adjacent and the opposite, so this opposite over adjacent, then you can, when you want to solve for angle, you use arctangent. because the information give us is the tangent. So then that's easy. Now, when x is 4, you plug in and use calculator. And when x is 11, you plug in 11 to the x. Okay, so x is 4, this x, right? This x. Now use calculator. This one is an easy question. So I'm done with the 4.7. So see you next time. We don't have extra credit for this section. And we don't have extra credit for 4.8. So I have one more video to go, and then we are done with the whole chapter 4. Okay, see you next time.